The Eagles have made an addition to the tight end room with signing Harrison Bryant, the 2020 fourth-round pick of the Cleveland Browns. Zach Berman, most importantly, the first question I have for you is, does this mean anything about Dallas Goedert's future?
I wouldn't put that as Bryant being a replacement for Goddard, but I certainly think the Eagles looking for tight end depth and a player who has starting experience at tight end would show that they're adding to that room, and there's a good chance they'll subtract from that room as well.
5 years in the NFL for Harrison Bryant, 4 of them with the Cleveland Browns. Best season of his career, 2022, 31 catches for 239 yards. Has been declining production-wise the last couple seasons, only 9 catches for 86 yards in 13 games for the Raiders last season. Do you think that this is a player who the Eagles view as better than Grant Calcaterra, the new tight end too, or is he here to compete for a roster spot?
I would imagine him competing with Grant Calcaterra. Now, I think if Bryant and Calcaterra at the top of your depth chart, I don't love that for your position, but he does have starting experience, like you said. He's played in the league. He's been used in different offenses, and he's played. The Raiders numbers last year. He was behind a rookie tight end with his historic production when Michael Mayer was not away from the team. Michael Mayer was a part of that too, so he was like the third tight end there. Same thing in Cleveland. They had David Njoku. They had Austin Hooper for a period of time. So he hasn't really had that clear pathway to playing time. I think that it's somewhere in between, like a camp hopeful and a starting hopeful. I think this is a step above C.J. Uzomah last year.
And I think the reports were up to $2 million for this signing, which the up to is probably doing a lot of work there, but this is more than just the veteran minimum. So I think you're right.
Yeah.
Somebody who right now the Eagles probably view as a likely roster player, but not a definite roster player. Something we often talk about on the show is draft proofing the roster at every position so that you don't find yourself on the clock needing to push a guy up the board who you don't really want to take, but you feel like you need to take a position. This is probably helpful in what is supposedly a great tight end draft class. I think the Eagles would like to come out of this draft with a young tight end who can potentially be their number one moving forward, but Harrison Bryant is enough to make you not feel trigger happy on that front.
Yeah, and you also want to look at different skill sets too, right? A rookie tight end presumably isn't going to be a great blocker, all right? Unless you're taking a run blocking tight end who is not a very good a pass catcher, because if he does both, he's probably going he's going very early in the draft. Harrison Bryant came in to the NFL with the reputation of being more of a pass catching tight end. As you pointed out to me on the PHLY Eagles show, in the different situations he's in, he's been called upon to run block more. I still don't think of him the way I might view Jack Stoll or Ian Thomas, that type of player. But if the Eagles don't bring back C.J. Uzomah, who, as Fran Duffy pointed out, maybe didn't play up to his reputation as a run blocker last year, but that's kind of a void that the Eagles might need Bryant to fill, is like the help in the blocking game.
We know that the Eagles are not shopping at the top of the free agent market. They have spent very little money on that front, and that may continue. But I do think it's interesting, the 3 players who they have signed, Josh Uche, A.J. Dillon, and Harrison Bryant, all of them going to be 27 next season. So they're not signing these plus 30 mercenaries who might come in and have their own ways of doing things. Do you think that's intentional?
I do. I do. I think it's something that they're always trying to learn from different experiences. I think back to after the 2017 Super Bowl wins, the last time the Eagles won the Super Bowl, one thing they really focused on then was those veteran-type players, your Mike Wallaces, Haloti Ngata's, those types of players. And not just is there more injury risk there, but they kind of viewed it as you're getting the guys chasing the ring. That was a big theme. They had hit on Chris Long the year before. They had hit on Patrick Robinson the year before. But the reality of that is sometimes players hit an age curve and there's a steep decline there. And so I think the Eagles don't want to go for that profile player unless they're confident that guy has some juice in his legs. I think this is more they're looking for depressed assets who can still play.
There you go. Harrison Bryant, welcome to the Eagles. The Eagles have a new tight end.